Hey y'all, welcome back to Cajun Country Clunkers. I'm Jim.
And I'm Lydia, and we are fixing the South one clunker at a time.
We recently completed our series on rebuilding the 1991 Club Car DS. We broke that down into 3 easy parts. Complete teardown, removing the body from the frame. Second step was to add suspension and a 6-inch lift kit. Third step was paint body reassembly.
Now, we have completed this start to finish, but we knew that we were going to be adding a lot of aftermarket things, like those things that are not necessarily a necessity to make it run. And we asked y'all in the last video if that's something that y'all would like to see, and y'all, we heard you. So today we are going to be doing aftermarket accessories that are technically not a need, but more of a want.
Everybody has wish list items. We're no different.
And y'all had gave us a lot of great ideas of things that we should do to the golf cart, things we should buy for the golf cart. So we definitely took those into consideration and got a few more things for it.
Now, first things first, a lot of these accessories that we're going to add to this golf cart has to have power. And this is 1991 technology with no bells and whistles. So we're going to have to add some power distribution. But in order for us to do that, we have to take this seat off. And mounted to the seat is our battery charger, tucked up right under here out of the way. Now in the last video, I got kind of a stern talking to because we didn't show the wiring part whenever we put all these batteries back. So we're going to kind of briefly buzz over that right now, how we have this set up, before I disconnect the battery charger. This is a 36 volt golf cart. What we have is 3 12 volt batteries. And we have them attached as such to where we have positive, negative, negative, positive, so forth and so on, which added together gives us the 36 volts that we needed. Now with all 3 of these batteries wired together, that makes this our hot post for our 36 volts, and this our negative post for our 36 volts. Now if you'll see, we have our battery charger wired as such. Now I know this might seem small to y'all, but Lydia did surprise me with one of the adapters that you can put in the body. This was what was in there.
I know, you made me sound so mean. Like, I wonder if Lydia's going to let me buy.
I don't own one of those yet, but hopefully I can sweet talk Lydia and she'll buy us one. Make it look nice and neat. There was no guilt tripping involved in that.
No, I want it just as bad as you do.
But it makes it super simple. So with the onboard charger, all you have to do is plug it into this adapter, and it's pretty much just an extension. It's an extension to here. So you can just plug your extension cord in outside without having to lift the seat, do any kind of, using alligator clamps or anything like that. It just makes it a lot nicer and neater.
It does look really nice.
So I'm just going to leave that disconnected because it has to be loose in order for the seat to come out. Now the next step will be to disconnect these battery terminals. Uh-oh. I'm about to expose myself. Can you not show that part? It's kind of one of those things. We were putting it together and I realized that I didn't have a certain size wire terminal that I needed, a ring terminal. So I'm sure that none of you guys have done this at home before. I'm sure I'm the only one that has just took a random wire and shoved it in between more wires to make contact. Hey, but it works.
Are you going to put that back like that?
What I would really like to tell you is that I'm going to get the appropriate size ring terminal and I'm going to solder it. Then I'm going to put a shrink sleeve on it and then I'm going to install it correctly. At this moment in time, I have all intentions on doing that. Reality is there's a 50-50 shot that I'll probably forget about it until I go to slam this back together and be like, I forgot to get those. Oh well, show must go on. I was just thinking, typically one of those bungee cord ends would have slipped out of one of our hands and the other one would have a big old red mark on the side of their gourd.
Maybe we're finally learning something.
We can count on that one. So we went ahead and removed this one battery, got it completely out of the way because we're going to be installing these little terminal blocks. So what this is for, we have a 36 volt golf cart and all of our accessories is going to be running off of 12 volts. So from one of these batteries, we're going to pull a positive wire and a negative wire. We're going to mount these in the golf cart. Then we'll have multiple locations, a bunch of spots to be able to tie on more and more and more and more and more. And then we're going to have multiple locations that provide 12 volts of power to whatever type of accessories we want to add on. So we're thinking that this is about as good a location as we can put it. This is an aluminum I-beam, and we're going to get off to this side so it's just a flat area on the I-beam. Drill a couple of pilot holes for these stainless steel sheet metal self-tapping screws to put in there.
Now that everything that needs power is going to have a way to get power, I'm going to start working on these rear back seats. This box is the cushion and this box is the actual frame part. Now, I know this is going to shock y'all, but we got this on Amazon too. And we've had this for a while now, so we just really need to start taking it apart and get to it. I think it's really neat how golf carts have so many different types of accessories to put on the back. You can just get nothing. You can get the handle, thing that actually golfers use, you know, like the caddy holders and even like the flatbed options. That's pretty stinking cool. Perfect.
Well, that turned out pretty good. Oh, look, we got some extra nuts and bolts under there.
Oh.
Love it when we have extra parts.
Ready?
Do it. Test drive.
Oh. A
Is
little
it
bit more
comfortable?
firm than I thought it was going to be.
Is it comfortable there?
Take a seat. Oh. Okay. That's lovely. Now let's get on.
Load tested. It's pretty secure.
It's
Really
not
ain't bad. Kind of comfy.
We just need a driver. Lads.
Belvedere. Belvedere. I like it.
Now, I think that Jim did a fantastic job painting the golf cart, but it just seemed to me like it was missing something. So I went ahead and went inside and made some stickers for it. Broke out the old vinyl machine. And we're gonna stick these on this morning. Can't go wrong with flames, right? I heard that it makes you go faster. There's one. Hey, Jim Wayne, can you come look at this? See if you like it.
Oh, that looks good.
You like it?
I think you missed your calling. Look at the detail in that.
I would definitely not go that far.
Look at that. That is slick. So the way the golf cart is set up now, we're pretty good about going during the day. We could go just about anywhere we want to during the day, but at night, that's a different story. So, Mr. Larry, we took your advice with the light bar option. And they do sell light kits for these things that cut into the corners. And you can even buy other little aftermarket recessed light options, but we really didn't want to cut into this front cowl because it's got so much bubble gum and tape on it like it is. But we felt like this was going to be a really good option and a really bright one. Kind of adds to it, looks nice, neat, and clean. So what we're going to try to do is not add any more holes to this. So we're going to try to take these two carriage bolts out and apply it to where we can install this light with those carriage bolts and hold the front bumper on at the same time.
Yeah, thank goodness we are getting rid of those old, dingy, rusty, crusty lights. I was really hoping that you weren't going to use them again because I threw them away.
I don't blame you. They look like they came over on the Mayflower anyway. So the way this hardware attaches to the bottom of this light is it sits like this. Well, these nuts is going to slide back and forth until we put a bolt in them. But you get the gist. 2 screws in from the bottom so you can adjust it up and down, however you want it. So we're going to need it to sit in just like this. That way the carriage bolt can hold the bumper, the light, the little strong back in the back, and the whole assembly together at one time.
Did you plan for it to work out that good?
I did not.
Or
sometimes you just get lucky. And I think it's going to. One thing about these bolts, they shouldn't have any rust on them. As many times as we put them on and taken them off, over and over and over again. So obstacle number 1 is this carriage bolt needs to set down into this trough. It did come with a couple bolts. I'm not sure if they're long enough, but we're going to try them to see if that'll work. And if that doesn't work, we're just going to take the grinder and cut the shoulders off of these bolts so they'll set down into that trough. So the bolts that they sent ended up working, so we don't have to do any grinding and all of that modification. So we're going to go ahead and stick these 2 in here, and then we're going to go ahead and just hand tight these mounts. Just put the screws in there, because when we put all this stuff in place, it's going to be hard to get in there behind there to be able to line them up and see what we're doing. You know, typically, especially with all of these little small detail things, Lydia usually always takes the reins, because I don't know if y'all have noticed or not, but ever since I have been alive on planet Earth, I shake so bad. It's like 24 hours a day, I just got done drinking a big old pot of coffee. So with these little small nuts and bolts and washers, it sounds like I'm packing a tambourine everywhere I go. Now let's see if we can get all this stuff lined up and held in place and both bolts put in at one time. Get this lined up. Let's see if I can put a little pressure on this one to get it started in there.
Oh yeah, there she is.
Finally. We got the light bar put in and it looks great. I'll have to say, Mr. Larry, you was right. You hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what we needed. We don't have it wired in yet though. So what we want to do is go through and add all the accessories that have to be mounted and put in place. Then we're going to fall back and wire them all together and bring you all on for that also. So the next step to bring this buggy into 2025 is it has to have a charging port on it. It has to have a place to plug in your cell phone, those kind of things. which brings us to what we're doing right now. Now I know this is going to be a shocker, but this was also an Amazon find. We're going to have a battery indicator on here to tell us exactly how many volts we have. We're going to have a standard 12 volt cigarette plug-in adapter, and then we're going to have 2 USBs and an on-off switch.
So this hole was here from, I don't really know what, didn't have whatever was connected to it. So we're just going to use that hole. That's why we're going to mount it in this area. You want me to measure it from the top first to make sure it's straight?
Yeah, because you know how crooked my eyes can get.
All right, that's 2.5 right there.
Okay.
And that's 2.5 right there. Look at you.
Even a blind hog finds an acorn every once in a while, you know.
You get the gist. The outside one. Just got the outside one.
Pick the one in the middle. I promise I haven't been drinking at all, Ossifer. So what we're going to do is get a hole saw and actually cut each one of these holes out a little larger in diameter. And the biggest part of that thought process for us is this is plastic. So we want to leave as much as we can there for stability. Leave it as strong as we can possibly make it.
Let's see, which one's close?
Well, let's dig them out of here. Let's see what that socket looks like.
Ooh, a little bit tight, huh?
A little bit small.
Well, the next one's rather large.
I think that'll be good.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
I like it.
If you like it, I love it.
Well, that'll give us a little bit of flexibility to kind of move things around if we need to. You know, these hole saws, that's kind of a, I don't know if you know anything about them or not. When we first started building our home, we bought a little cheap set of hole saws from, I think it was a pawn shop.
It was a pawn shop.
What a deal. They were like $6, $7 for the whole kit. A cheap set of hole saws is exactly that. If you're going to be drilling into milk cartons, things like that, they're probably okay. But we went through several sets until we finally had somebody that had some knowledge about hole saws like, look, you might want to skimp on some things, but that is not one of them. And it was a game changer. We spent a little money on a real good set, and they're worth it. Good clean cuts, clean holes, and you don't have to push on them so hard that everything starts smoking.
Somebody called that the magic smoke. You know that you never want to release from your tools?
Yeah. Now, the first thing we're putting in on this, of course, is a phone charger. And I'm putting it in on Lydia's side.
Hey.
You know, it is what it is. No hate, no shame. Okay. That's going to turn out pretty good.
Oh, yeah. My northern coming out.
Where are you from, anyway? Oh, yeah.
The ill of the noise. The ill of the noise, everybody.
All right, we'll put our little voltage meter hootis right here in the middle.
The ill of the noise has a huge car show. If y'all have been to it, it's called the Route 66 Car Show. And we're thinking about going this year. Do y'all think that's a good idea?
Is that on I-70?
Oh, yeah. Yep, that's exactly where it's at. And let us know if we should go. I know where we can get some really good pizza at if we go.
Well, now all we have to do is put the screw in for the flange plate. Why does it look not... Okay, well, it looks better here. It looks crooked when you stand up. when you get down here, it looks right.
We measured it. Maybe we should have used the naked eye. Crooked eye.
Mine. Mine's always crooked. Everything will be like this if you go off my eye judgment. All right.
Looky there, like it was meant to be there.
What are you doing?
Well, I was just testing out the taillight. But I was wondering where this would plug in.
Put it in your teeth.
Yeah, that's where it was. So up next, we're working on these back taillights. Hey, honey, where did we get those from?
You remember all that smack I was just talking about, those pawn shop hole saws? Well, we didn't have one of the good ones that was big enough in diameter. So this is what we got. I'll be here 3 days cutting these holes.
All right, you like it? You love it?
Yeah, I think that was about as straight as we're gonna get it. Is this one of those things where I'm gonna have to pick the line in the middle again?
Do the bottom line. Watch this. Cut me here. Perfect. That's not bad for upside down. He's still legible.
Elevation's the same.
The good thing is it's on the back.
So everybody else has got to worry about it, huh? I think that's going to be pretty close. Maybe there? No.
No.
I got to measure it. I'm sorry.
Your tip fell off.
Oh God, these are junk. Well, we already got part of the hole cut now, so no turning back.
All right, Jim's gonna put it back together. We're gonna give it one more chance. Any deeper?
Not much.
This is as deep as the saw is gonna cut. We ran it and ran it and ran it, and it just will not eat through this. So we're just gonna come around to this other side, go ahead and get it kind of at the same depth of cut that we have on this right side, and then go from there and try to figure out what we're gonna use to cut it. Aw, you beat me. Dang it.
Oh, well,
I'm so close.
that's a fancy hole saw you got there.
Thank you. Check it out.
Hey, whatever works. We got 2 holes. That's what we was looking for.
Oh, man, that was a doozy. All right, so my weapon of choice was a drill bit with a bunch of holes. And here's the outcome. Now Jim's weapon of choice was a little Dremel. And here's the outcome of his. Y'all drop in the comments and let us know which one you would have done. Actually, I know what they would have done.
Yeah, they would have bought a new hole saw. We just didn't want to stop long enough to go do it. That would have been such a nice, neat, clean little hole with a hole saw. Things don't always go as planned though.
I think it looks nice. You like it?
Plenty good enough.
So whenever we were putting this seat on, I nicked the paint pretty bad right there, but I have a solution. Like it was never there. See you later, alligator. Do you love it or hate it, Jermaine?
I hate it.
Do you hate that you love it so much?
It really did turn out neat. It's a nice little touch.
You better keep that wire up high.
Jet, he loves mechanic work. So we have the tail lights put in, we have the light bar put in and ready to go. Only thing we need to do next is get the wiring going. We found an old wiring harness that we had put back from another project. I think this was going to go to a side-by-side, basically the same thing. So we're going to integrate it to be able to use it for the lights that we have in this golf cart. It's going to save us some time. It's nice. It's already got the little coating, the little wrap on it. It's probably going to be one of the nicest ones we've done.
All right, you fuss at me about my dog. I'm gonna fuss at you about your goat. Look at him.
Hey, he's just doing his daily chores. I always tell him to check the diesel tank, make sure it's full. He's just going through his checklist. He's nuts about his checklist.
Oh, here he comes to report back.
How much diesel did it have in it, buddy? Was it full? He said it had a quarter of a tank.
Isn't that exactly what you said you weren't gonna do in the beginning of this?
Oh.
I don't know why you decided to pick the pace up whenever I got the camera out.
Why do you want to call me out like that? That's going to be a to be continued thing. And I promise you, before September the 11th, I will have it in there. Just don't look at it real close. So number one on the must-have accessory kit for us is the voltage indicator. Now this is a battery level indicator. It's kind of like a fuel gauge. It tells you exactly how much battery you have left. So if you was about to take out on a long journey, you only had a half a tank, better stay at home, charge your vehicle. But we got it installed right down here by the key. Super convenient. Easy dash installation. All we used was a razor blade. Next on the list was a 12 volt charging station.
which we put right here with the on-off switch. We have 2 USBs and 1 cigarette-style charging port. Super convenient right down here. I don't know about anybody else. What we normally do is lay our phones in the seat when they're hooked up to the charger. So that's the reason we put it there. Plug it in, lay it on the seat. Done deal. Easy access. And I bet y'all was all wondering why we was sawing this hole. You seen Lydia in there with the file? We had you on time warp, speed zone.
My
easy.
arms are still sore from doing that.
You need more practice. This is our easy to get to switch for our headlights and taillight combo. Whop. Now this is one of those things we went back and forth on. We didn't want this big old huge conglomerate system of things. We wanted something really simple, something tucked out of the way, something where we could enjoy our favorite tunes while taking a casual ride. But we also wanted it where it wasn't blowing the driver and the front passenger out, and the people in the back couldn't hear it, or turned around to where the people in the front couldn't hear it, but the back passengers couldn't hear the front people either. Well, this was the answer. This was the solution. Small sound bar facing straight up in between the driver.
That was another Amazon purchase. And all these links I'll definitely drop in the description box in case there's anything that y'all want to check out.
This actually works out perfect. You don't have to have it very loud, and the sound just amplifies. It comes up right behind the old gourd, so the people in the front, the people in the back can hear it. Even the people way in the back can hear it.
And y'all, we cannot forget these back seats either. These seats actually come up as well and have the carry deck on them like this. So it also gives that utility option as well. This is gonna come in crazy handy whenever it's time to feed, whenever it's time to put, I don't know, a goat back in the pen, you know, just all the normal daily things. Don't show this one until I'm approximately 4 miles away, because that's how far you can hear this. Oh yeah, I'm gonna seriously back up. Jim Wayne, hit him with that horn. I took our microphone plug out so y'all can actually see that it's not the sound coming from his microphone, y'all. This is coming from the other side of these containers. You ever heard like a banshee scream? That's what it sounds like. Oh, look, it called Gus. It was a Gus calling. Like, what's wrong, everybody?
What has happened?
So that was probably one of the most unnecessary things. And for some reason, I swear that is louder than the one that's on the buggy.
It is super loud. It is under the seat, it's sealed off, and it's facing backwards, and it's still, whew. If you get to a busy intersection, you're not going to have to worry about anybody hearing you. They're going to know you're there. Now, one thing we didn't want was just tons and tons of switches and buttons and all those kind of things. So in order to keep that to a minimum, this is how I have it wired up. Now, this is not a stock golf cart key switch. This is just a AutoZone tractor key. So you turn it on once, okay? That's just like to run the golf cart. That's the way we have it wired up. And to hit that old horn, you just reach on down here, and then like you're gonna start the car, you just give it a little bump.
That is the most obnoxious thing.
It is obnoxious. Everybody around here is gonna hate us.
Listen at the distant dogs barking.
For miles away, you can hear dogs barking. I absolutely love it. Oh, I can't wait for the night rides. And y'all, I think Lydia did an outstanding job with all these decals. She printed every one of those things herself and got down there with a little, I don't even know what that tool's called, but picked all the little pieces of vinyl out to make those stickers. So it's all hand done. I think they turned out great, especially the alligator with the flames. I'm telling you, that probably gained us like 4 or 5 miles an hour just there. Well, thank you all for joining us this week and checking out this golf cart rebuild. This has been such a fun and cool project. We've learned a lot of little stuff along the way.
And y'all have taught us a lot of stuff along the way too. So all those little tips and tricks that y'all have shared, thank you so much for those as well.
Now, as the golf cart series has finally come to a close, we have a really cool project coming up that I think that y'all are going to be, number one, you're going to be surprised. Number two, I think you're really going to enjoy it. And number three, we're really going to have to put our mechanical expertise to the limits.
Now I'm put a little sneak peek, just a quick picture, just for a second on the screen right now.
Now that's going to be an upcoming project, and you're really going to be blown away just at being able to get to this project. So until next time, y'all hit that subscribe button, smash that like for us, hit that bell, that way every time we crank something out, y'all be first in line to watch it.
All right, y'all, well, we'll see y'all in the next clunker. This is a good one. Good little starter project. I can't wait till we get to the bigger ones.
I loved it.
Hey, did you want to tell them about the...
No, too soon.
Okay.